Hi, this is Trey Passer. I'm gonna do a quick reaction to this 43-second clip about Warner Brothers releasing their movies on streaming and on in theaters. So it's only 43 seconds, and I want to come back live to give you my opinion about this. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, let me put my headphones in. Okay, here we go. Right now, go.
There's something happening.
Wonder Woman.
In the next year,
Okay.
Warner Brothers Pictures is bringing you the biggest premieres
So this is the Suicide
in
Squad.
theaters and streaming exclusively
Yes.
on HBO Max. The exact same day.
All
The
right.
what now?
The Heights. Suicide Squad. Judas and the Black Messiah. Tom and Jerry. Godzilla and Kong. Yeah. Many Saints in New York. Conjuring. Malignant. Big Jam.
In theaters and streaming on HBO Max beginning December 25th.
Okay, I'm in. Okay, that was interesting to say the least. Okay, I know a little bit about this, but I'm gonna come back. I want to read about. Well, actually, I have it here, but I don't want to keep looking that way actually and talking. So what I'm gonna do is cut the video here and then just I'm gonna kind of read from the Variety article because it has more details than what I know a little bit about because I saw a couple of videos, saw Grace Randolph's video and stuff, but I want to actually see read from Variety because I think I know some of the particulars, but not all of them. Okay, so I'll be right back live. Okay. Hi, I'm back. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because this news happened yesterday. Warner Brothers saying that they're going to announce their whole 2021 film slate. It's going to debut simultaneously on HBO Max for 30 days, and then also in theaters at the same time. But then after 30 days, I think it goes away from HBO Max. Okay, and then it stays in theaters, and then it does the usual thing where it goes from theaters to pay-per-view and all that stuff. And then you can buy, rent it, and all that other stuff. And now, when I heard about this, I was intrigued because, like I said, I'm a big movie fan, and I go to the movie theaters. Especially an AMC fan. I got a card and a Stubs member, and like I said, in a good window, I go to the movies at least 2-3 times a month. Every week, especially with new movies coming out. I'm a big fan of movies, and like I said, I'm a big collector, and I love going to the theater. I love going the whole theater going experience. And like I said, I haven't been to the movie. I'm trying to remember even the last time I was in the movie. It had to be March maybe sometime, because I know they closed down the theaters. Everything started happening with the COVID situation around that time, especially in my job. That's when they started laying people off and everything else. And I think they closed theaters in New York here. I think around April. I think to be sure. But anyway, and like I said, they closed Broadway down and stuff, and Broadway is not expected to open up until maybe next year sometime. But like this thing is unprecedented because of the COVID situation, and even now that we have the vaccine in sight, that we know that it's coming, it's going to take a while to distribute it all across this country. I think it's going to take a couple of months, maybe even up to 6 months, and that's just being optimistic if everything goes right. I think the next year, I think 2021 will be a better year because I think the first part of the year, at least the first half of the year, will be getting the vaccine out to people and stuff, and getting them to take it and stuff, and testing it and seeing it, and making sure everybody gets who needs it and gets it. I know there'll be those food nuts that want to take it, but I think the majority of the people will take it, and hopefully, maybe by the summertime, we'll get back to normal things and stuff. And I know Joe Biden said he wants people to wear a mask for 100 days. Okay, which I know everybody's not going to agree with that, but at least that way, we've got a good way going forward. But in terms of Warner Brothers doing this, I don't blame them for doing it. I know it's going to hurt movie theaters, and I'm a big fan of movie theaters, but I know it's going to hurt them. But I kind of see Warner Brothers' point because they have all these movies, and what are you going to do? Keep holding these movies back, and so it piles up. You have all these movies getting ready to come out, but you have nowhere to really get them. And see what happened with Tenet, right? They did it with Tenet, but then all the theaters didn't open up, so Tenet is probably going to lose a lot of money because it was only certain theaters in the country are open. Okay, the large majority of the theaters, especially in California and New York, are closed. So, I think that is a good deal. What theaters because I think theaters will eventually, as the vaccine gets distributed and stuff, I think theaters will slowly open up across the country. And so I think the best bet is to do the HBO. You drive people to HBO Max because they can watch it in their homes for 30 days. Okay, and if your theater is open, and like I said, I would love for New York the theaters to be open, but I don't think New York is going to be. We gotta. They're not theaters are not going to open up in New York. I don't think anytime soon. So so even if they distribute it, I don't think maybe summertime maybe. So in the meantime, I want to see these movies. Okay, and there's a lot of good movies coming out. They said besides the Matrix 4, the Dune remake, Lin Mar, the musical In the Heights. You got the Many Saints of Newark, which is a Soprano prequel. Suicide Squad. You got Godzilla versus King Kong. I think they said it's a 17 films. I think they have. I'm reading it right here, but it's a. But hold on, I'm trying to scroll and read at the same time. Oh yeah, hold on. Let's see. Yeah, Tom and Jerry, Denzel Washington movie called Little Things, Judas and the Black Messiah, remake Tom and Jerry, Godzilla and King Kong, Mortal Kombat, Angelina Jolie's Those Who Wish Me Dead, The Conjuring, the third part, The Devil Made Me Do It, Space Jam, New Legacy, that's the one with LeBron James, Reminisce, it's a movie with Hugh Jackman and James Wan, Malignant, and the Will Smith sports drama called King Richard. Okay, and I know it's a short-term thing, and I know AMC Theater is not happy with it. Some of the theater goers are not happy with it because they think it cuts into their profits and stuff. But I can understand Warner Brothers' point, and I know that there's a big fear that maybe that Disney might do that with Black Widow and a couple of their other movies. They may do the same thing, but we'll see how it plays out. I do feel for the movie theaters, but as a movie lover, I do want to see these films. Okay, and if I have to, and especially like I said, I'm in New York, the big city, and there are going to be extra costs with opening up movie theaters, so I won't be able to see it no other way except on HBO Max. I won't be able because there's no theaters opening in New York City. I live in the Bronx, and there's no theaters open, so that my only chance to see these movies without having to wait a couple of months or a couple of weeks, which turns into months, is going to see it on HBO Max, and I'll also have to see it on that. That's the only way I can do it, and hopefully they're smart. HBO, Warner Brothers, they'll work out a distribution deal so the people overseas don't get screwed out of seeing these movies. Because I think that would be stupid. They should make some. If they were smart, they'd make some distribution deals with people overseas like Sky. That's a big thing in the UK and the different various other countries. Work out a distribution deal. Now that you came up with this plan, work out a distribution deal so that way people overseas can see it too on their thing on their movie channel things over there, and that would be the smart thing to do. Because I know that they were going to do that with the Zack Snyder's Justice League. They were going to work out a deal so they should work out with their movies too as well. Okay, like I said, I want to see these movies. I'm a big movie lover, and I really miss going to the theater. But I think eventually, once the vaccine gets distributed, I think movie theaters will open. I just think the government has to give out you got to help these businesses, and by businesses I mean the movie theater owners. You're gonna have to give them, because you got a lot of business owners that own, besides the big conglomerates, AMC and all that other stuff. You got a lot of small time owners that own those theaters and stuff, and they're not making any money with those theaters being empty. So I think you definitely should give them a little boost up, because I think eventually the movie theaters will open up. Especially in New York here, I don't know how California's really getting hit hard. Okay, so they may not open until the fall or something. Okay, but I definitely think theaters will open up eventually this next year. I just think towards the latter part of the year, and I don't think theaters are going the way of the dinosaur or anything. I know people are worried that this is going to become a trend and people are going to get used to it, but I think people still like the fact of going out. The whole point of going out. People are human beings are social animals, and they like to converse with people and go out and enjoy a movie and stuff and go out and enjoy that experience. And I think that will still happen. But I think for now, this is I don't mind Warner Brothers doing this, because like I said, I'm gonna get subscribe. I was gonna subscribe to HBO Max anyway to see Wonder Woman and Zack Snyder's Justice League anyway. So this is like I said, movies are like $15 anyway, 15, $20. New York, if you go regular time, it's like practically almost $20 anyway. I think HBO Max is like $14.99 right now. I don't know if they're going to raise the price or not, because I think Disney is $6.99, but HBO Max I think it's $14.99. I think it's probably one of the problems why people haven't been signing up for it as much, because I think they kind of went a little bit too high with the price on that. I think they should have probably dropped it to like $10.99. That would have probably been a better price. I know you get a lot of content on there, but I think that was a little bit too high. That rate is a little too high for people to initially sign up. Okay, but I think they should work out a distribution deal so that people overseas can see these movies that you're going to release. You know, like exactly at home. They have the option too of going to it. Then depending on the country, their theaters may be open or they may not be open. So that way they can see it in their homes as well. Okay, and then you get more subscribers that way. So I definitely think they should work out a distribution deal. And I know, like I said, the theaters are worried that people are going to get used to it, but I don't think they should worry as much. I think this is just because of the conditions of the pandemic and the coronavirus. They had, Warner Brothers has to, they had to think on their feet and had to come up with a solution, to try to, to drive business to make money. I mean, that's what they're in the business to doing, making movies and making money. Let's face it. Okay, so I definitely am going to look forward to seeing these movies, and I'm definitely going to join HBO Max so I can see these movies at my house, because like I said, until the theaters open up in New York, I got no choice, to watch them. If I want to see these movies, I'm going to have to see them on HBO Max. So I'm I'm here. Like I said, and $14.99 a month, like I said, movie theaters. I usually go to the movies before 12. I think it's before 12. Yeah, before 12, because after 12 in New York here, at least with AMC theaters, the movies are like were like $8 if you go before, I think 12 or 1. I forgot the time. I think it was 12 or 1 o'clock. I think it was 12. If you go to movie theaters before that, the movie was $8, but if you go after, it was like $15. So that's practically the price of a ticket anyway, the $14.99. So, and that's for the whole month. So, and especially I went like a couple of times a month. So I'm going to be actually saving money by getting HBO Max and watching the stuff on that. So, in my opinion, like I said, if Disney does that, like I said, I got, fortunate for me, when I bought my new iPhone, they gave me Disney Plus for a year for free. So I'm good, at least with, for a year with Disney Plus. And so they decided to do this thing with the simultaneously in the movie theaters and thing. But I think eventually these movie theaters are going to open up towards the end part of next year, maybe summer, depending on where you are in the country, because some places are getting hit harder than other places. But I think eventually movie theaters are going to be open by the end of the year. I think all across the country, God willing, let's say that that the movie theaters in the States at least will be open by the end of the year. I think all of them will be, God willing, when they distribute the vaccine and it works, God willing again. I think they eventually will, and I think then for 2022, then I think Warner Brothers and whoever else decides to do this will go back to the regular model of releasing movies in the theaters. I think they will go back. I know people are worried about that. People will get used to getting movies on HBO Max and staying in their house, but I think eventually people are social animals and they want to go out, and they'll do that. They'll return to theaters, and I know I definitely will once they open up the theaters in New York, because we have a good governor here, Governor Cuomo, and he will make sure that the theaters are up to the safety codes and stuff. So I'm not worried about that part of it. Okay, but I'm definitely taking the vaccine when it comes, because I want to get on with my life and get on with living and stuff. And I know it's just been like I said, 2020 has been a crappy year. So I'm looking forward to 2021 with hopefully with the vaccine, and people, will slow the curve and all that stuff, and hopefully, the country can return to some kind of normalcy. I'm just praying for that. But as far as this idea is concerned, I'm for it. I'm just, like I said, I do feel for the movie theater owners, but I think Warner Brothers is making a smart move in terms of, they have to do what they have to do. They can't keep stockpiling these movies up, because, they still, they're going to start filming other movies. So you kind of have to get those movies out to the people. And, your business, you're going to have to do it. Even, you have to kind of adapt to the situation. Okay. And again, my heart does go out to the movie theater owners. And I think eventually those theaters will open up. And I know I just prayed, that, eventually they'll get some relief from the government too, to keep their business afloat until the vaccine gets out there, and then people start to going back to living their normal lives and stuff, and going out and going to movies. Okay, anyway, let me know what you think about this. Do you think this is a good diet? Do you think this is a good idea or not? Let me know below, and please feel free to let me know what your opinion is about it. Do you think this is a crappy idea or not? Let me know either way. Anyway, I have links to my social media in the description box, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I also have a link to my other channel called Views and Opinions. Check that one out as well. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.